Today, we're going to look at an idea that flips everything you think you know about money completely upside down. We're talking about Robert Kiyosaki's argument that the entire financial system we trust is slowly crumbling, and the advice we've been given our whole lives might actually be a trap.
I know, it sounds absolutely crazy, right? From day one, we're taught that debt is bad, avoid it at all costs. But here's the kicker. Kiyosaki says that's what keeps people poor. The rich, they don't run from debt, they run towards it. They use it as a tool to build massive wealth, while the rest of us are taught to play a completely different and losing game.
So how on earth did we get to a place where debt is good? Well, to really get it, we have to jump in a time machine and look at two key moments that completely rewrote the rules of money.
Okay, so check this out. It happened in two simple steps. First, back in 1964, they took the real silver out of US coins. A small change, but it was a sign of things to come. Then came the big one, the real bombshell, 1971. President Nixon went on TV and announced that the US dollar could no longer be swapped for gold. And just like that, poof. According to Kiyosaki, money stopped being a tangible asset and became, well, just an IOU from the government. It literally became a form of debt.
And this new type of money has a name: fiat currency. Its value isn't connected to anything physical you can hold in your hand. Its entire value is based on one thing and one thing only: our collective faith in the government that prints it. And, when that faith starts to wobble, the whole system gets pretty shaky.
And this really puts the scale of the problem into perspective. Macro analyst Lyn Alden highlights this staggering number. Over $100 trillion in debt is sloshing around the US system. The whole thing is built in a way that it has to keep expanding. In fact, over the last century, this debt has only ever gone down a handful of times, mostly during the Great Depression. The takeaway is pretty stark. The system is designed to either grow or completely break. There's no in between.
Okay, so a system built on a never-ending mountain of debt? Who cares, right? Well, here's where it directly impacts you, me, and anyone with a savings account. This is the squeeze. This lays it out perfectly. There are two paths. If you're a saver, you work your tail off for cash that's constantly being devalued. Every dollar you save buys a little bit less next year thanks to inflation, which is basically a side effect of all that money printing. But the wealthy, they play a different game. They take on debt, the very thing we're told to avoid, to buy real assets. Think real estate, businesses, things that actually go up in value as the dollar goes down. So in a wild twist, the very inflation that punishes you as a saver is actually helping them win. Here's a great way to picture it. The entire financial system is like a giant ship that's slowly taking on water. The central banks, they see the leak and they start bailing like crazy. But here's the catch. Their buckets are filled with freshly printed money, which just adds more weight to the ship, making it sink faster. While everyone is watching the crew bail, the really smart passengers are quietly looking around for a life raft.
So what does one of these financial life rafts actually look like? Well, according to our sources, it's all about finding assets that exist completely outside of that sinking, debt-based system. Kiyosaki calls this his economic shield. You've got the old guards, gold and silver, and the new kid on the block, Bitcoin. What do they all have in common? It's simple: scarcity. No government, no bank, nobody can just press a button and create more of them out of thin air. They play by a totally different set of rules. And that's what makes them so attractive when the old rules just don't seem to be working anymore. And when he talks about Bitcoin, Kiyosaki zeroes in on its core technology. He says the blockchain is what makes it valuable, because it has integrity. Think about it. In a world where we're losing trust in our financial institutions, having an asset with a public, unchangeable record of every transaction, that's a really, really powerful idea. Now let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just happening in one country. This is part of a huge global power shift, and Lyn Alden gives us a great way to understand this changing world. Alden says we should stop expecting some big, dramatic crash of the US dollar. Instead, a better analogy is what happened to the British pound. It was once the king of all currencies, but it didn't just collapse one Tuesday morning. It was a long, slow grind down from the top spot. The US dollar, she argues, is likely on that same path. Not a sudden implosion, but a gradual fade from total dominance. So what comes next? It's probably not just one new currency taking over. Alden's view is that we're heading for a more diffused or multipolar world. The dollar will still be a big piece of the pie, for sure, but a smaller one. Other currencies, like the euro and the yuan, will gain ground, and this is key. Neutral assets like gold and maybe even Bitcoin will become more important as a foundation for everyone. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? The question we all need to be asking ourselves.
In a world where money can just be created on a computer screen, where do we find something that's actually truly safe? What does real value even look like anymore?
By the way, if you want to go deeper down this rabbit hole and check out the original analysis for yourself, we've put the links for you in the description.
And hey, if you found this helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button and share it around. We put out explainers like this all the time, so make sure to follow What Bitcoin Taught Me pretty much everywhere. We're on Twitter/X, Nostr, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, YouTube, and now even TikTok. Thanks for watching.